Dear parents, graduates, and teachers, this is a very proud moment because this moment came with a lot of hard work from both sides. This moment came with a lot of love and giving from both sides, from the school to your daughters and from your daughters to the school. And tonight, we can actually celebrate the accomplishments of the last 4 years. No matter what we went through, we never gave up on each other. We never gave up on each other. And we always believed in each other through everything. And in this short time, we became a Shalsheles family. Because isn't that what family is? Girls, isn't that what family is? A lot of giving, a lot of hard work, a lot of love, and a lot of believing in each other no matter what. Isn't that what family is? So we girls became a Shalsheles family. And I have to tell you parents, for me this is bittersweet. Because you get to keep them, right? But for me this is bittersweet because I'm so happy to see you graduate and to move on in the world. But at the same time, Shalsheles is really going to miss you terribly. And I don't know if we're ever going to have a class like this again. I think they know what I mean. I really don't know if we're ever going to have a class so filled with adventure and enthusiasm and warmth. A class that so badly wants to grow. A class that was just filled with, you know, a desire to cheer us on. No matter what we went through, we always ended up cheering each other on, no matter what was going on. And I find comfort, even though I'm sad, girls, to see you go, there's a couple of things that make me have comfort. Number one, I find comfort in the fact that Mrs. Fink has prepared you academically, and we in the Hebrew department have prepared you spiritually to move on in the world. I also find comfort in knowing that you girls have grown so very much, and you're ready. You girls are really ready to go out into the world. I find comfort in the idea that you girls will give us a lot of joy and nachas in the future. I really feel that that's what's going to happen. And I find comfort in the fact that we are a family, and family never says goodbye. Family just stays together. Now I know with speeches, less is more. Why? Number one, there's really no way for words to adequately express how I feel right now. So in many ways, I feel like what's the point of talking? Words can't express it. Number two, I know that the real heroes here are your daughters, and you want to see them up here. So every word that I'm about to say was thought out and is from the heart, and I'm going to keep it short. Part one, I'm going to say a message for the parents. Part two, I'm going to say a message for the graduates. Part three, Mrs. Goodstein's famous stories. Part four, a couple of thank yous. And part five, something special and nice to say about every single one of your daughters, because everyone deserves to shine. Part one, a message to the parents. Congratulations, parents, because tonight is your night. These girls are here. These girls are here because of you. Girls, you have to love and respect your mothers and your fathers and your grandparents because of everything they did for you. And you know, the truth is that you will never get it until you become a mother yourself. And until that moment, until they become a mother themselves, they're just going to have to believe us and respect you for the fact that you are parents. But one day when you girls will become a proud mother and you're going to walk your own daughter, you know, take pictures of her as she walks down the aisle for graduation, walk her down the chuppah, help her with her first child, you are going to feel such love, and at that moment you're going to remember your mother and your father and your grandparents. Parents, I want to say something to you. I thank you so much for trusting us. I'm a mother myself, and I'm very careful with the schools that I choose for my kids. I keep calling them, I check up on the teachers, I'm always testing out the principals. So I know that schools are important, and I take your trust very, very seriously. I'm honored and I'm touched that you trusted us with your daughters, and I hope that we have made you proud. Parents, I care about your daughters very much, so please listen to me very carefully. Again, mothers and fathers and grandparents, I'm speaking out of love and out of concern for your daughters. I have a message for you. Encourage your daughters to continue in the Torah way. I can no longer do it because they are moving on in the world. They're no longer going to be seeing Mrs. Goodstein and her staff every day. So I'm begging you, dear mothers, especially the mothers, because we have a profound influence on our daughters. Please encourage them to grow in the ways of our religion. We will not be able to do it. You have to do it. Because being a Jew who follows Torah and Shabbos and a tznius, modest, dignified way of dressing is the most beautiful way of life. I want this life for your daughters. I have this life for myself, and it's so special and so beautiful, and I want this life for your daughters, and I'm begging you to give it to them. It's a life of depth. It's a life where you have a relationship with God. It's a life that is based on being good and moral and doing the right thing, not just following what the world says, following what God says. It's being real. Being a religious Jew means being a real Jew. Torah is ours. Why can't we be who we really are? What's wrong with being real? And I beg you to give this to them. Who do you want them to follow? Mothers and fathers. Hollywood? Do you want them to follow Hollywood? Where everyone is so rich, but come on, everyone is in rehab? And everyone's unhappy? Is that who we want our students to follow? Our girls are far more intelligent and precious than that. Do you want them to follow 2013 messed up Hollywood? Or do you want them to follow Torah leaders, rabbis, who live a beautiful, happy life? Parents, you can be a professional and be religious at the same time. How do I know? I did it. I worked hard my whole life in school. I went to Columbia University, a top college. I was into being a professional, and I got a profession that I love, I have a passion for. I couldn't ask for any better job in the world. It's not even a job, it's a passion. But at the same time, Shabbos, dressing according to Torah standards where I'm respected for my heart and my soul and my brains, that I would never compromise on. Whether I'm in Borough Park or whether I'm in Manhattan, where everyone is different. It's cultural diversity, and I respect that. But if everyone else can be diverse and respect who they are, I can be a real Jew. I can be real as well, and I am not ashamed of it. And I am begging you to teach your kids to do the same thing. And I guarantee you that if your daughters continue on in our whole way, if they continue on in the ways of our holy Torah, that girl will hopefully marry a good moral human being, a man who learns Torah while making money, and they will bring you nothing but happiness, joy, and nachas. Because they will not be following messed up Hollywood. They will be following our traditions, a beautiful way of life. And now, a message to you, my dear students. As a Hebrew principal, I ask you, for the last time, I ask you to continue to grow. And we will always, always be there for you, no matter what. We want to be there for you when you get married. We want to be there for you when you graduate college. I want to hear when you become doctors and lawyers and nurses. I want to hear when you say, Mrs. Goodstein, I have this amazing daughter. Where should I send her to school? I want to hear about it. I want to be part of your life. And just as all these past 3 years, I have tried very hard to be disciplined, but still to make you happy. I want to continue to do that and to be there for you. And I ask you that if you ever have any questions, you know my cell phone number. You think Samuels is going to get rid of you just because she's married now? Absolutely not. You know Mrs. Fink. Mendelovich has tears in her eyes. And Matyash cares about you. She is the person to go to. And Lowy and Landau and Dudovich, we're all here for you and we all love you very much. Girls, one more message to you. When you do get married, make sure that aside from having a husband who is educated and intelligent, that he should learn every day. Either it's an hour, 2 hours, or every moment, that's up to you. He should learn Torah, he's going to respect you more. And number 2, make sure he has a rabbi. Because, girls, listen. A person without Torah is like a fish that is not in water. A man or a woman who is just going on in life doing whatever they please, that's called Hollywood of 2013. But a person following a good way of life, following something higher than ourselves, that's called happiness. Now, part number 3. This is Goodstein's few short stories that this is probably, hopefully not the last time you'll hear. But connecting to what I'm talking about, there were a few Israeli soldiers. It was a true story. A few Israeli soldiers, and they were in the war in Israel. And they were in the tank, and all of a sudden a missile hit their tank really, really strong. And from the heat, it sutured the top of the tank onto the bottom of the tank, meaning that the top of the tank was shut closed. And as the missiles hit the tank, they wanted to get out. They were pushing on top, trying to get out, pushing, trying to get out of that tank. But they realized that the more they pushed, it was for nothing. It was shut, closed. One of the Israeli soldiers who was not religious said, I know that when the Jew is about to meet his maker, he says, Shema Yisrael, hear, O Israel, that God is one, and that a Jew must love God no matter what. And the other said, Ani lo charedi, I'm not religious. I'm not religious in life, and I'm not religious in death. But that soldier said, I never had a chance to learn. But now as I'm about to meet my maker, truth is hitting me in the face. I want to say Shema Yisrael. And the 3 soldiers screamed, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. God is one, the beautiful phrase of a Jew, no matter what is going on. And as they finished saying the word Echad, God is one, another missile hits the tank, pops it open. The soldiers run out. And as the last soldier runs out, the tank explodes. 2 of those soldiers continue on their life as if nothing happened. Because it's very human to do that. Inspiration comes and then it leaves. But that one soldier who said Shema Yisrael with his heart and soul and said, why is it that at the moment of death I realize that I'm made by a special God? Why is it not in the moment when I'm alive? Number 2, there is an elderly Jew, and he is there during the Holocaust. And he is davening Ma'ariv, which is the night prayer. And he's davening with all of his heart and soul. And he's about to get to Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. And the Nazi soldier looks at him and he makes fun of him. And he says, what are you praying about? Tomorrow I'm going to have the joy of taking your life away. Where is your God anyway in this place? Why do you have to say Shema Yisrael? He says, actually, go ahead and say it. I get pleasure out of knowing that you're praying to a God that tomorrow I'm going to take away from you. And instead of falling apart, because Jews do not fall apart no matter what, we cry sometimes, we fall down sometimes, but we always pick ourselves up. And that's why we're still here. He says, you think you're going to bring me down? And he started to scream, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, with such love, with such sincerity. The next day, as the Nazi wanted to take away this Jew's life, the United States Army came in and liberated the prisoners. And as they were taking away that Nazi, the elderly Jew said, even if you would have taken away my life, I live as a Jew, and I die as a Jew. And I will continue to say Shema Yisrael. And 3rd little story. There was a woman of modern day times who grew up religious, but she wanted her daughter to be of the new type of Jews. You know, the ones that are modern. The ones, why should we be pulled down? Why should we be pulled down? But she sent her daughter to yeshiva because the local public school system was a disaster. A lot of bad language, a lot of inappropriate behavior, and a lot of throwing books at the teachers. And at that point, she decided to put her daughter into a Kiruv yeshiva. And the daughter said, Mama, how come I can't dress the way they tell me? She says, why should you dress like in the 1800s? She says, Mama, I can be beautiful and classy, but still respect myself. Mama, how come I don't pray? Because that's for the old people. Mama, but I want to talk to God sometimes. Like, I have things I want to say. Mama, how come we don't keep Shabbat? Because Shabbat is from like the year 1, 2, 3. Who does that in 2013? But Mama, I kind of like spending time with you without your cell phone. Let's do the Shabbos thing. Well, that night, that day, the daughter learned about Shema Yisrael. So she tiptoed to her mother's bedroom, put her hand on top of Mama's eyes, and said, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. And she said it with a lot of sincerity and love. She said, Mama, if you won't say Shema Yisrael, I'll say it for you, because I love you. At that moment, the mother was not sleeping. She was so touched, because she remembers her mother saying Shema Yisrael, and her grandmother saying Shema Yisrael, and her great-great-grandmother saying Shema Yisrael. She says, daughter, I want to continue that chain. Girls, Shalsheles is a chain. I beg you to continue. I beg you to continue. Not because I get a raise for every one of you who becomes religious. Not because I score brownie points with anyone. I'm asking you because I really do love you, and I really do care. Why? Because even though sometimes I act all formal and all principle-ish, beyond this facade is a heart that really does care very, very much for you. And I hope you have a life as beautiful as the one you have now, and even so much more. And now, the fourth part, I'd like to say some thank yous. Mrs. Fink, my co-principal. People don't want to say it, but it's sometimes very difficult to get along with the people you work with, especially when you share an office. Mrs. Fink, I could not ask for a better partner. Every time you walk into the office, I feel like smiling. I mean, you bring sunshine wherever you go. You're such a professional. You are the perfect example of a religious, strong, powerful, educated woman. And I was here from the beginning. And I always ran the Hebrew department, but we know that our students have to be educated. We know they have to do well on their regions. We know that in order for us to have the name we have, we need to have a high education. We need to get them into Columbia, NYU, Brooklyn, wherever it is they need to go. And you, in the few short years you've been with us, have lifted that education to such a high level. And you're strict but kind. You're fair but soft. And I could never ask for somebody better to work with. I mean, I just absolutely love working with you. I consider you one of my best friends. Mrs. Teitelbaum. Mrs. Teitelbaum works more with the elementary, but even our high school students know that she is a role model for love and chesed and kindness. She babysits my children. And every time I come, there's a goodie bag of clothing or food or good advice. She's the most loving, kindest person I've ever met. I don't think you're going to find a school in the world with such pure goodness. That's Mrs. Teitelbaum. Of course, I think he's hiding outside, but Rabbi Kugelman is the rabbi of our school. He is the one that made Shalsheles Bais Yaakov. And the only reason why Mrs. Fink and I are so dedicated is because we really, really learn it from him. You girls have no idea how much he really cares about you, and I have a feeling there will be times when you will have spiritual questions. 718-755-0557. There's a lot of rabbis out there, but there's only one Rabbi Kugelman. I'd like to thank Mr. Goodstein, because even though he's very much behind the scenes, Mr. Goodstein really cares so much. You know, there's no such thing as a school without an accountant, without the finances. I want to tell you a little tiny thing. I'm not allowed to say it. There was a certain day that Con Edison told us, it wasn't our fault, we paid our bill, I promise. Con Edison told us that we have to evacuate the building because they're going to shut off the lights and it's not safe to do it with children inside. It wasn't our fault, we paid our part of the bill. I'll tell you about it now. Mr. Goodstein gets some money, cashes his personal check, pays off the bill so that you girls can have another day of learning. That's his job. last but not least, second but last but not least, I'd like to thank a very, very, very special individual. Mrs. Levitt. And the very fine new addition to the Shalsheles family. I just want to say that no words can express my gratitude. When I came to her wedding, I really didn't know what to say. What do you say to a kala who's just kind of sitting there looking all pretty? Mazel tov, you know, what are you going to say? So I'm thinking, Goodstein, don't sound corny. You know, I was going to say the usual, you look so pretty, and I'm so happy for you. But I don't even have a chance to say anything, and she says, Mrs. Goodstein, the graduation is all ready, don't you worry. I'm like, what? You know, I was just so impressed. 3 weeks before she gets married, she puts on a tremendous Shabbaton that we will never ever forget. She is so dedicated and so talented, and we are so lucky that we have her, you know, part of our school. I could never ever ever do it without her. I really just couldn't. So. And to Rabbi Levitt, you are one lucky man, and you're going to have a beautiful life together. Welcome to our family, and hopefully one day you'll come and speak for our girls, right? Right? By the way, my husband is a really great guy. I hope you two become friends. Okay, and now the last thank you goes to every single one of my dear Hebrew teachers. And I don't want to say names because I'm afraid to leave some out. You know, teachers, Hebrew teachers, it's a hard relationship I have with you because I kind of have to tell you what to do. But I can't tell you how much I respect you and consider you my equals. There's two types of generals. The type of generals who put the soldiers in the front and they go in the back so they shouldn't be killed. And the type of generals who put the soldiers in the front and they fight in the front with them. Because if the soldiers go down, the general is going to go down with them. If the soldiers win, the general will win with them. I hope you consider me the second type of general who is there with you in the forefront with everything. And is there for you with everything. We're all in this together. And I have to tell you, sometimes I sit very comfortably in my air-conditioned office. I know that you are the teachers. I know that you are the ones in the front of the classroom doing the hard work, the real soldiers in the classroom. I can never thank you enough. Just like this for the night of the parents, it's the night for you teachers as well. Now, this part is very, very hard, the last part, because this is a very hard thing to do because it's very difficult to capture a person's essence into words. But I'm definitely going to try. Forgive me if I'm not adequately expressing the beauty of your daughter. I'm doing the best I can, but it's very, very difficult. Asnat Alishayeva. Asnat, you are a true leader. There is something about you that when you talk, everybody listens. You use your leadership abilities for the good. Asnat inspires other people to do chesed, and she does chesed herself. I don't know if you know this, but she actually feeds sick people in my Maimonides hospital every single week. Asnat, you have a wonderful sense of humor, and you brought life and enthusiasm to all of the Shalsheles events and Shabbatons. You, Asnat, to get serious for a minute, are one of the strongest people I have ever met. And I am so proud of the young lady that you became. I know that this is not the end for you, Asnat, and I know we are going to be hearing amazing things from you in the future. Asnat, Hashem gave you a tremendous strength and poise and power. And may you use it to continue to inspire me and the entire world. Abigail Arabova. Abby, where are you, Abby? Abby, you should know that we rarely accept girls into the 12th grade. Why did Mrs. Fink and I accept you? Because from the first moment we met you, we saw in front of us a very unique and special young lady. We knew that you would only add to our school. We love our school. We're not going to take anyone who's going to pull us down. We trusted you, and it was the best thing we did because you made our school better. That's what you did. Abby, I'm sorry. Abby, you are very beautiful on the outside and mostly on the inside. You are soft, dignified, and careful to be 100% clean in how you speak and act. You are an excellent student in every area, and you have inspired others because you are a role model of a strong, intelligent, and religious girl. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's been a couple of months, and everybody loves you. I'm so happy that you joined us. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Sarah Baturov, where are you, Sarah? Sarah. You know, a principal could not ask for a more wonderful student. We could fill up an entire school with just one Sarah Baturov, and it would be an amazing school. Why? Number one, you're an A+ student who puts a lot of effort into her academics. Number two, you always respectfully state what is true. Respectfully state what is true. And you help others realize what is true as well. Number three, you are a true friend, and you will stick up for your friends no matter what. Number four, from every one of the students and all the principals see you as an incredible example of good midos, high intelligence, and a beautiful heart. You deserve to be the Hebrew valedictorian representing your class. You deserve it because you own it. It's yours. Sarit Binges, where are you? Sarit. I can truly say that your mom and dad did something right. I mean, I want to come to you and take some parenting tips. I really do. Because they raised a wonderful person. You're so mature with a beauty that shines from the inside to the outside. You are an incredible example of good character because you're so soft and kind. But at the same time, you have a strength that fills everything around you. Your deep brown eyes are caring and understanding. You have a smile that is healing, a voice that is soothing, and midos that are moving. Sarit, I'm not flattering you. You have inspired me to become a better person. You really have. I became kinder from watching you. I became less judgmental from watching you. And I'm really going to miss you. There will never be another princess like you. Never. Miriam Vavilov, where are you? Miriam, you are such a forgiving and good person. Although you appear to be quiet and soft, your inner strength can move the world. The day that you entered Shalsheles is the day that you made Shalsheles Bais Yaakov a better place, a more respectable place. Miriam, you are a girl that anyone can trust. You hear me? In this world, it's so hard to find people you can trust. You can trust Miriam, because I have never heard Miriam talk badly about anyone. Miriam, your softness and your gentleness and your refined ways is your biggest intelligence. Miriam, listen to this. If I was a student once again, and I had a choice between choosing one girl to be my best friend, I would want to be best friends with you. Everyone can learn from you, Miriam. Everyone can learn what it means to be a good person from you, and I'm really going to miss you. Orly Ginoja, where are you? Orly, you are oozing with sweetness and positive personality. How could I possibly thank you, Orly? I have to thank you. I have to thank you because you have transformed our school. Your good energy that you have brought into our school, I've never seen it before. I really have to thank you because I know that the past 4 years would have been so much more boring and less growth-oriented without you. You made being kind and loving cool. You made spiritually growing cool. You made cheering for your school cool. You made positive cool. As Gio, you made the school